I'm Zach, and this is Challenger Vedic Astrology and Tarot. Welcome to the channel. So, if you'd like to get either a Vedic Astrology or a Tarot reading from me, you can do so at my website. It'll be linked down in the description box below. Alright, so Cancer, Ascendant, and Moon sign. Let's get into this. Alright, so Jupiter was previously in the sign of Pisces. But Jupiter is going to be moving into Aries on April 21st. Now, when Jupiter was in Pisces, let's talk about that first. So, back when Jupiter was in Pisces, this previous year, Jupiter was helping protect you. Now, Jupiter is not a good planet for Cancer, Ascendant, and Moon sign. But Jupiter at the very least protects if it can't bless you. So, for you, how was it helping you? Well, Jupiter sitting in your 9th house in the sign of Pisces would have helped protect your father, your relationship with your father, which for Cancer Ascendant could tend to be kind of strained. Now, 9th house is also long distance travel, so you could have traveled a fair bit while Jupiter was in Pisces. 9th house is also education, higher education specifically, like masters and beyond, or just any education that is like beyond typical like college education, beyond that. 9th house is also religion, so you could have become more religious during this time. Like I said, you could have gotten education. 9th house is also luck. You could have been luckier than usual during that time. But now let's talk about Jupiter moving into Aries. So Aries is your 10th house. Jupiter will be here for about a year. Jupiter is your 6th and 9th lord sitting here. So like I said, Jupiter is not a good planet for you. Its main sign rules one of the two worst houses, the 6th house. But Jupiter will at least protect if it can't bless you. Now, on top of this, with Jupiter being here, it's with Rahu. Now, Rahu is explosive energy, and Jupiter naturally represents expansion. So there's going to be this massive expansion with Jupiter moving in here. Saturn has a third aspect here, so Jupiter and Saturn are the two largest physical planets. They have the biggest impact in your life, especially during transit. So, with both of them having an effect on the sign of Aries, and with that explosive energy of Rahu, there are going to be big changes here for you in your 10th house. Now, what does 10th house represent? 10th house is your career, it's your status, it's your bosses. 10th house is your reputation in the world. So, Jupiter is going to expand your status during this time. Big changes are going to happen for you in your career, in your work. You're going to be more recognized in public. You know, even if you don't do anything, you know, that puts you in the public eye. People are going to recognize what you do more. You know, for instance, the smallest thing, you know, you're just doing something simple to help someone, like at the grocery store or something. You know, people will notice. Now, being the 6th lord in the 10th house, your work's going to increase quite a bit. So I guess that could be one of the negative things of this. But at the same time, that can be a good thing. That could mean you're making more money. I mean, Jupiter is also going to aspect your 2nd house of finances, so you'll definitely be making more money through your work during this time. Your relationship with your bosses will improve. Now, on the negative side, there could also be some enemies in your work during this time. Jupiter will try to protect you from those, though. But yeah, there could be some obstacles at work, some more arguments, maybe not getting along with your coworkers as well as you normally do. Jupiter being the 9th lord here Ninth house represents education. Jupiter represents education. Sitting in your 10th house, you could need to learn something for your work. You could need to travel for work. Being the ninth lord of travel, sitting in the 10th house, that could be possible. Now let's talk about the aspects of Jupiter. So Jupiter has a 5th, 7th, and 9th aspect. So the first aspect of Jupiter is going to fall in the 2nd house of Leo. So this house represents family. It represents your finances. This is like your everyday paycheck. It's the money that you make regularly. Second house is also your savings. It's your speech. So Jupiter during this time is going to protect your family. You'll make more money during this time period. You may not be overly blessed with this aspect due to Jupiter being a malefic planet for you, but Jupiter will at least protect. Now, Jupiter is also going to have an aspect on your 4th house. 4th house represents your mother. It represents your home. It represents vehicles. Now, with Ketu being there, definitely some of you, most of you, Cancer, Ascendants, and Moon Signs would have moved during this time. Would have moved, maybe would have lost a vehicle. Could have, separated from your mother. For instance, if you were living with your mother, maybe you moved away from your mother during that time. But now, with Jupiter's aspect being here, you could get into a new place. You could get a new vehicle. Or at the very least, those things will be protected. Your relationship with your mother could improve during this time. Your mother's health could be better during this time. Now, Jupiter's 9th aspect is going to be on your 6th house. So what does 6th house represent? 6th house represents pets. It represents enemies. It represents your maternal aunts and uncles. It represents your coworkers. 6th house is your everyday life, your everyday routine. So for instance, getting up in the morning, making your coffee, making your breakfast, that's part of your everyday routine. 6th house is also debt, if I forgot to mention that. It's also your health. So Jupiter is going to protect you in all these areas. Now this is the best aspect of Jupiter because it's aspecting its own house. So Jupiter is going to protect you from your enemies during this time. You could get a pet during this time. Your relationship with your maternal aunts and uncles will be better during this year. Now, on the negative side, Jupiter represents expansion, and 6th house represents debt. So your debt could expand. So you need to watch out for that. Now, 6th house is also work. So Jupiter sitting in your 10th house of career, aspecting your 6th house. Like I said, you could have to work a lot more right now. Especially with Saturn having a 3rd aspect on your 10th house of career, your workload's definitely going to increase during this year. But overall, especially in career matters, career and your status, Jupiter's transit's going to be good for you in those areas. Alright, that's what I have for you, Cancer. And if you like my videos, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps me and the channel out. And I'll catch you in the next one.